Okay. Well, I fasted for today, and or fasted actually yesterday. I didn't eat anything, and I don't think I'll eat anything tomorrow. I mean, I think I'll eat something today, probably at the end of the show. I'm not hungry at the moment, so I might wait until I am hungry to eat. Um, but yeah, I've. It's easier for me not to eat than it is for me not to overeat. And once I start eating, that's when the problems start. I guess it's kind of like drinking. Once you start drinking, that's when the problems. It's easier for me to fast than it is for me to eat. I'm actually constipated right now, so
Well, one of the most sick and vile and twisted aspects of the way our country is run is they want to tell us how to protect our health and how to eat healthy, and in on the other hand, we've got this whole mechanism of addiction laced foods, and whether it's MSG, which I don't think was really prominent in America first, but it's certainly here now. Um, Super highly addictive, like probably like nicotine. I wouldn't, maybe not as strong, but maybe it is. Uh, Sugar, of course, and we know what corn syrup and all these kind of sugar cane alternatives, because I guess sugar cane is probably the best source of sugar, um, but we don't get that. We get these artificially created, chemically enhanced things, sugars in our foods, and they're in so many foods, and also flavorings is another one. Food flavoring, all of these things which are in so many of the foods, and then restaurants typically cook with a much higher sodium content. They want their food to taste great, and anyways, the drill, dude. We get into these patterns, and it's incredibly difficult to break free from, like any other addiction, because your body craves it and there are withdrawal symptoms, and people don't know what the alternatives are. They don't know. They simply don't know, because we've got this whole idea that the FDA has to approve it, or if it's not FDA studied or approved, it's not real or legitimate. When a lot of these older practices are, and the best practices, I'll just say this, the best practices for eating are lost in the muck and mire of the fake food pyramid and what we were told was a healthy eating lifestyle.
yeah. And now government wants us to accept things without almost without any question. Um, and there's reports coming out of Israel right now about a lot of. I mean, they are like, I think they're one of the largest groups of people that have the vaccine, and the new variant is still very prevalent. So the fact that we can't even have open discussions anymore on many topics is really um, rather disturbing. I mean, I guess, when are we going to be free to really make our own decisions and my body, my choice really be out there? I mean, there are people that believe that if people just take the vaccine, and that the people that are unvaxxed are the super spreaders, but this is not necessarily looking like the case. Now, I have taken the vaccine. Uh, Other people don't trust it, but that is their choice. In a free society, uh, they can choose to take it or not to take it. And that doesn't necessarily make them a super spreader. And evidence is proving that uh, the vaccine doesn't necessarily uh, keep you from getting the disease or even spreading it. I could be wrong on that, but that's the information that I'm looking at out of Israel as of now. And there's been a lot of really vindictive uh, behavior from the pro-vaccine community. As of now, I still am a pro-vaxxer, but I'm not pro-force at this time, and I'm definitely pro-discussion on what are the best alternatives for this pandemic that we have as of now. And I'm willing to listen to anybody that makes, you know, to find out if it makes sense. And I have to listen to them before I make that decision. And that's where I'm at the moment.
And just that view alone drags you out of the mainstream narrative just enough to really want to focus on the conversation is the key, and that's going away. There's a lot of ridicule and mocking, a lot of one of the most disgusting things I've seen is a artist on Instagram who is um, very pro-vax, and he he's been publishing artwork, and he makes a lot of money because his art sells and it's collectible, I guess. And he's making art that says they look like signs, like they'll say "No assholes allowed" is one of his things. And I think he's Israeli. His name's Iman, and it's a disturbing concept when you boil it down to this sort of narrative where if you're not on their team, then you're an asshole and you're not welcome places. And it is a shame. I wish I had the image to show you. You'd probably agree it's a disturbing thing. And this is I don't even know. It's leaving me kind of kind of speechless, and I'm hoping it doesn't get worse before it starts to get better. But I still get this feeling that maybe it will get a little worse. Hopefully we're reaching that. As the people who are going to take the get vaxxed and mind their own bodies. As that continues, maybe there'll be less of this sort of vitriol and censorship and non-discussion. There should be more open minds, and there should be more open voices to express how the other sides are feeling, rather than create more division. That's when I saw that, it just my first. So I tried to fashion myself, live a lifestyle where I don't seek violence, and I'm more than happy to defend myself and my family, but I'm not out looking for that. But when I saw that, my first reaction, I turned red. I felt the heat, and I wanted to lash out, but I didn't, and I kind of thought about it, and and I'm hoping that these sort of things don't spread to make it even worse. So.
Yeah, turning red and being angry, I've had to also um, kind of stop myself because I find, and it's almost an addiction to engage with people that are really not on the same like page or wavelength, that are just, and they're very vicious, nasty people. Uh, I went on to a news article on YouTube about a guy who punched an elderly man in the face. He's 75, for waving at his child, and I think he decked him, and I think he might have even kicked him, and he was suffering a couple of broken ribs or whatever. But there were people defending the black man, saying you don't wave at another person's child, and the guy could have been a pedophile or whatever, things that were really not proven. And the guy took the law into his own hands. And I made the mistake of engaging with with a couple of these individuals, and it's like it's a clown show. I gain nothing. I gain nothing from this. Some of these people, they're just vindictive, myopic people who can't really see beyond their own nose, and I gain really nothing from that. I mean, if you are defending uh, the striking of an elderly man because he waved, or even if he said something inappropriate to a child, which I don't think he did, but even if that were the case, you don't take the law. That's not a self defense thing. That's not something that you take the law into your own hands and punch somebody. Uh, you only primarily you fight primarily to save your life, uh, and sometimes maybe even your property. But this was completely uncalled for and vicious and vindictive behavior. And I mean, I'll get into that like a little bit later on what drives that, and what certain groups that feel the need to do that. But it's a very vindictive and nasty thing to do. And the few people that were defending it were in my opinion, not worth my time. But I was compelled to like lash out at them, and it's a moment of weakness for me, because what am I doing even talking to a person kind of like that? I mean, engaging with a person like that. I mean, if you think it's okay to put the law into your own hands, what's the point? I mean, and for me, the other problem is the establishment seems to support, to a degree, this kind of mindset, uh, and it doesn't go after it, and it's kind of disturbing. But I think for me, we're in an economic Cold War, and we have to think in terms of economics, and they don't want to debate us. Primarily, those that are against us want us to shut up, and some of them will seem to be doing violent things to shut up people they disagree with, and that is a problem, and it's something unprecedented that I've seen this last year, and this year as well. Mob violence seems to be uh, on the rise, and it is there with it's there to shut people up they disagree with. They'll use both violence and economic intimidation. So that is a problem, and it's a problem for freedom. And my whole thing is also, the internet was supposed to be the information age, and it's really no longer. It's really the age of censorship and gaslighting, and punishment, because these cancel culture mobs came out of the internet. These people came out of the internet, and the establishment, and they've captured much of the establishment, and they have power, and that is a problem. That is a problem, I think, within our free society. I don't know if you have a comment on that, Joe.
Well, I think all I'll add to that is I think there are people on one end, and that's the haves, and then you have a marginalized, disappearing, almost non-existent, crushed into oblivion middle class. And so now you have these haves. That is the people within the corporate chambers, and they are making more money. They are more of a clan than they ever have been. They are tightening the screws. All you have to do is look at the stock market, which is exploding. Every time there's bad news, Brian, every week the feds come out and they make an announcement. Okay, they make an announcement, and this week, especially because it was now we're in September, we're September 1st, so for the whole month of August, the feds come out and they give a report on first-time unemployment claims, which have skyrocketed. Okay, and every week they make an announcement: 300,000 there, 300,000 there, and prior to making the official announcement, the feds will come out and make a prediction, and they're always wrong. They're always undershooting the actual number, and they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it seem like the economy is healthy and it's booming, when the opposite is true. The economy is in shambles, and so each week they come out and they make the announcement for new time unemployment claims, and we get this horrific number. It's usually over 250,000 new people filing for first time unemployment claims, and every time that happens, we see a spike, and spike in the stock market. Stock market now is at breaking all-time highs, at least 2 to 3 days a week. It's the stock market, the S&P, the New York Stock Exchange. They've gone up. I don't remember. I think it's 7 consecutive months of up, and the feds are controlling that. And so, yeah, there is a power struggle that goes beyond. There's a power struggle that goes beyond censorship, and like you said, there's like this tightening of the money vice, and so people who aren't invested, they aren't enjoying this trip up at all, and at some point the bills are going to come due, and this market will crash in such a way it'll be biblical. It's going to be so massive. So enjoy the ride while you're there enjoying the ride up, but keep attuned to what changes are being made. And I won't get too much into the finance thing, but it is certainly a massive restriction on what people who don't necessarily fit into the mainstream narrative are able to do. And it comes down to having full faith and credit in yourself, and your time and energy is all you got, and that's all I have. And that's where I'm at in this shady situation, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the end game is here. If it's to totally dismantle the dollar and give us this, federally managed crypto, maybe that's it. Anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at on that.
I mean, and that's, and I don't know what motivates some of these individuals, maybe ego, a false sense of ego, and they don't want it crushed. Um,
I think it's control for the mind. That's what govern meant has always been. Govern is to rule. Ment is your mind. Government is full control of your mind. And the Federal Reserve System, which is a joke, is blowing smoke up America's buttholes and making us believe one thing when they know the opposite is true. And just wait, inflation is going to hit hard and it's going to reach far. It's going to hit everybody, and there's going to be a tidal wave of it. And this is going to be um, a moment of reckoning, and either people are able to open their eyes once and for all and stand up for what they know is right rather than to believe in some false nonsense and narrative, and to finally trust themselves for once. I think that's where we're headed. Either you can do it, either you can live by those standards, or just be a movable puppet. What do you want to be? I mean, that's the question.
I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy, fit in both the mind and the body, and strive as best I can for uh, financial, financial stability. Um, and I think the first thing is the mind and the body, and then other things may come into place or they may not. I mean, there are things that are very unseen. I mean, we are in very much unprecedented territory. I am fasting today, uh, and I'm striving to keep the mind and body connection. This is the first day of dieting. I'm going to weigh myself. I'm going to write it down and see how much weight I can lose each month. I will monitor that. But I really want to. I really want to just steady my mind, and I recognize my emotions and my anger, uh, and I want to be able to process them before I act upon them, and that right now is the real struggle. Particularly online, I still have the urge to go to the circus and and argue with the clowns. And basically, what do I gain with the clowns? What do I gain with someone who thinks that it is okay to strike an elderly man, or someone who uh, wants to complain that Colin Ferguson, the Long Island shooter, uh, didn't get his Burger King like Dylan Roof? What do I gain with even talking to individuals like that, who are just so deep into their own doo doo? I really gain nothing. Uh, the only time I would, I might mention them to other people and to say how twisted and sick some of their minds are, but I'm not interested in talking to a sick and twisted mind at that point. Now they may change, but when they're in the thick of the doo doo and they're in the thick of sick and twisted thoughts, it's not time to engage. It's time to not engage and show people exactly how sick and twisted some of these people are, and how much they do lie, and how much they do they are phony. But I think it starts with the mind and the body, and then hopefully other things will follow, and hopefully other people will join. Right now, there's just you and me. We're the ones having the conversation, and I think others will also. There have been people that have asked to join, and I got to reconnect with them, um, so others can join our conversation, and I have to just get onto that. So I want to work hard and work hard on myself, and then hopefully other things will fall into place. You know, it's like playing a sport. You know, you play to get good exercise and have fun, and then winning's a bonus. And anything after that is kind of gravy. Joe, I'm going to end the show. Is there anything else to add before I end it?
No, I may do a stock market update later if I have the time. A little bit of a busy day, but if not, we'll start a regular routine with that as well. But thanks again for listening. Transparencyandmerit.com. If you want to go see more, that's a work in progress. But join us here.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and yeah, thank you for those few people that do listen. I don't know how much of it they listen to, but I do thank you for listening, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever day you choose to listen to this show. Thank you.